Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Fern MacArthur is suing Gregory Abadair in the amount of $625. Mr. MacArthur claims his neighbor led him to believe his house was haunted and says the defendant then charged him to remove a ghost that didn't exist.
All right, state your name.
Fern MacArthur.
Sir?
Gregory Abadair.
All right, and sir, you're suing the plaintiff for $625. You charged him to remove a ghost from the house that didn't exist, says he felt the ghost. That's what you say, he felt the ghost. Why me? Start with you, sir.
Yes, sir. I am suing my neighbor, Greg, for $625 because he swindled me out of that because he led me to believe that there was a ghost in my house, and that was not the case at all.
How could he come in your house and make you think there was a ghost there?
Well, it all started when I moved from Nashville, Tennessee to Plano, Texas. I was looking for a house that I could afford, and I found this one, and I was throwing a party at my house because I wanted to get to know the neighbors. So I passed out flyers, and he showed up on time, so I thought he was going to be, you know, a nice guy. And then when the party was over, he offered to stay and help clean up, and, you know, he asked me about how the house was. And then I started to tell him, you know, it was like, I'm hearing things at night.
You told him you were hearing things?
I told him that. I was
Okay.
like, I was hearing things at night, and I didn't know what it was. It just sounded like something moving around and whatnot. And so he mentioned to me that the previous owner, Mrs. Hudson, passed away in that house. I had no idea. The real estate owner didn't tell me that, so I had no idea that somebody passed away in that house.
No. So, everybody that owns a house, when they get 80, 90, 100 and pass, the real estate person supposed to tell you.
It would be nice to know something like that, yeah. He planted that idea that it's the ghost of Mrs. Hudson in the house, you know, but at that time when he mentioned it to me, it was like, okay, well that kind of makes sense, I guess, you know. I'm a little
Because you're hearing things already.
I'm hearing things. It's like, okay, if she died here, you know.
What time do you usually hear things?
It's usually in the evening time.
Yeah, when
like
people start
late
getting
at night.
high.
Late at night is usually when
late
it
at
happens.
night, yeah, when people start getting
You know,
high.
when I'm
That's not how it go. Late at night. Drop the mushrooms off on you. You seeing everything. You seeing and hearing everything. You'll give me some testimony, sir. I'm sorry. I've been neglecting you.
That's okay. I know it sounds like it's an interesting story, Your Honor, but I am a paranormal investigator. What happened with me is when I was over there, and this is the thing that makes me laugh about his testimony, is he said I planted the seed. I thought he knew. Everybody in the neighborhood knew. All I did was ask
what?
That about Mary Lou
That
passing
a ghost lived there, that Mary Lou had
passed away,
transitioned
yes.
into a ghost.
Yes, she needs to go home. She needs to see the light and go home. Okay, God didn't send her. She just hasn't left. And that's where I come in, okay? And back to planting the seed. There was no
she
seed.
must know she going to hell. That's why she ain't leaving. She said,
She
I
was a
ain't
sweet
going.
lady.
I ain't leaving
I knew
this
her
house.
before.
So I can die 5 times. I ain't leaving out of here. I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I knew her before. She was married. Her and her husband, Clint, would walk the neighborhood all the time. Then once he passed away, I believe it was in 2005, then she just became a recluse. Like, never came out. Like, you'd see her in the window. I'd see her in the window every now and then. And people would drop off her groceries. And then when she passed, you know, it was said that, you know, once in a while, people would still see her in the window. That's what I'm talking about, the neighborhood and stuff like that. Did I ever see her in the window? No, I didn't. I never saw anyone in a window or anything. But you know how neighborhoods are. They talk.
Did you ever see what is referred to as a ghost at his house?
I did not.
Did you ever see anything that we might describe as a ghost?
I did not see anything, no.
So no one saw a ghost. Did you go and evaluate the house to determine whether there was a ghost?
I did not evaluate until he invited me over.
To do what? Just as a casual gathering?
No, he was convinced it was a ghost.
Okay, so he wanted to hire you.
Yes. And I did lead on a little bit because I'm like, okay, what are you hearing? And he said that the thing that stood out to me was the groaning.
What's that?
Exactly.
Groaning.
Yeah, groaning, like oh, like that.
I thought
you know?
you said the woman husband had died before.
Okay.
I guess he didn't leave the house either. Huh?
That's good. But yeah, so I mean, that's what stood out. Not the creaking and all that stuff, the groaning part. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then I was like, oh, well, then I brought up the story that I thought he already knew.
What was the agreement?
The agreement was he said he'd give me the friends and family discount of $125 an hour. And he ended up being there for 5 hours, which I had no idea how long these things would go.
Sounds reasonable.
He came in, yeah, I asked him to come in because I wouldn't have thought of a ghost, but he said that he was into that
What
stuff.
did you think? The things you were hearing.
I just thought it was an old creaky house.
No, you didn't. You even said it yourself.
I didn't know what it was.
He said he was into the same things I am, but apparently now he's
Paranormal?
not. Yes.
Are you?
I'm not into it, but I listen to people. You know, it's just like, oh, you're into that? That's cool. Okay,
Oh,
you know, I
listen to
don't. I
it
listen. I don't
without
knock.
a problem.
Yeah, I don't knock. It's like if you're
Okay.
interested into it, I could
Good
understand.
enough. I'm glad you listen to people and you have no problem with them.
I try
So you do have a sense of what it is to have paranormal presence because you've heard about it. People talk about it. You listen. You don't have a problem with the things they say. So you do have the knowledge of what might exist in your home when you hear noises. Otherwise, why did you mention it to him?
I didn't know at that time that there was a death in that house.
What noise did you hear?
I heard like it sounded like it was some creaking, some groaning, some. It sounded like
Okay, the
somebody was
groaning
walking around.
part.
I personally don't believe in ghosts, but some people do. Some people have evidence and
So
whatnot.
you've heard a lot about them from people who tell you, and you don't have a problem with them telling you. So you have knowledge of it. And then you got direct evidence of something paranormal in there, and that turned out. You tell me your experience going through the house.
Okay.
Tell me your experience.
Sure. It was,
I'm talking too much.
$125, which was my friends and family discount, which I actually regret now. I usually charge $150 an hour, but yeah. So me, when I'm going into the house, a lot of times I'm not saying prayers. I'm kind of just speaking or talking, trying to communicate with them to let them know that I know they're there.
Is this learned or a gift?
You could learn about the paranormal, but no, you would not have the talent I have.
That's what I'm saying. That's a gift.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Well, I mean, it seems like it is right now. It's not. I'm in
I
court.
believe in spiritual gifts. Don't know if it goes as far as that, but yeah, I do believe that people
Yes.
have gifts that most of civilization.
I mean, I'm a certified.
Might not have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I'm a certified expert. I have my
I thought
evidence
you were
here.
going to say I'm a certified nut, and everybody knows.
Would you
it,
like to see
but
my
you
evidence?
Say, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm glad you're showing me this.
For sure, for sure.
Thank you. At least somebody else think that of you. All right. That's right.
And you'll see my. I do have a side business called Spirit House, where I do help people. And this is the first complaint I've ever had, which kind of throws me back. I've been to houses. I haven't done anything. I would say, oh, that's your heater. This, that.
So you just didn't find anything. That was the point.
No, I did find. What I felt mostly was the cold spots.
And that's where, as you say, ghosts exist.
Yes, yes.
In the cold spot.
Yes.
And when you told him, did you tell him in the sense
Basically,
that you do have ghosts? Because I felt these cold
Yes,
spots.
yes. And it did take 5 hours. And let me tell you, I have another job. The energy it takes out of me, okay? I literally missed, I think, 4 days of work after that.
All right, sir. Did he tell you he succeeded in what you asked him to do?
He told me he succeeded, yes, but
He's still there.
That night it seemed to go away, but then the next night it started to come back again, and I made an audio recording of it. I recorded it and I handed it to the bailiff earlier.
Yeah, y'all can go ahead and play it. Play it. All right, sir. He came. You said it went away, but that's what came later.
That's what
How
came-
do I know it came later? Did you contact him the next day and said, listen to this?
Oh, no, he contacted me with the payment.
No, I'm saying this.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying, Your Honor.
Informing you on the night
Well-
that it returned. Did he come and say to you, the ghost has
No.
returned?
I didn't
did not.
know.
That's my point. You
I
did
didn't
not
contact him.
be quiet.
Sorry.
It was a breach of contract because, in your opinion, but however, you did not give, even if I were to believe it, and I don't, you have to give a person a chance to cure the breach. And that's when you were supposed to go back and say, I still have the ghost, come try again. And then if he doesn't try, it's like, Okay, if it doesn't work then again, or it works and then returns, that's what he can. He's allowed to say, I tried. And he could not cure the breach. But then the judge would decide whether it was a breach. I don't believe it was a breach.
Well,
I think you got the services that you paid for. He came and he looked through. That cost $600. Because it returned, his game is make sure it returns so he can come back and get him another $600. But you didn't even know the con.
well, but I didn't know. I wanted to give it more time to see if it kind of went away, to see if it had a lasting
you were supposed
fever.
to tell him immediately.
But then,
2 days later, or you said it returned a few days later, you were supposed to say, it's back. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff,
Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Adam Fields, is suing James Moore in the amount of $300. Mr. Fields claims he was hired to appear in the defendant's movie and says he was sent home without pay after a disagreement over his costume.
State your name.
Adam Fields.
Sir.
James Moore.
All right, and sir, you're suing the defendant for $300, alleging he failed to pay you for a performance you did in the short film.
That is correct.
All right, start with you.
I've known James for maybe like 6 months now, and he called me. He said, hey, one of my actors dropped out, and I know you act, so would you like to fill in for me? I'll make it worth your while. I'll pay you $300. If you come in, you can use this for your reel. I'm running super short on time. I have to go out. I buy a blazer. I show up for the day of the shoot. After they finally got everything kind of settled on set, we did a dress rehearsal. And it's kind of where they see what I brought that they realize this is not what we want for the character. So they give me some options. The first one, the sleeves were way too short. It was taking away from the dramatic value. If I walk in there looking, well, like a clown.
What did you say when they were bringing you things that were too small?
Well, I expressed my concerns to the PA, and like I said, everyone on set was pretty stressed out.
James was the director, or?
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
I'm
He's
the
kind of-
director. He was being a diva the whole time.
I was not being a diva. I was actually very
Let
respectful.
me hear from you, sir.
So I have actually evidence here where you can see in the text messages that I sent him that I asked him to bring several options.
Let's see that, please. That's the first thing out your mouth, sir, is that you didn't know what to bring other than a blazer.
He brought a blazer. I do not understand why. I even explained in the text message, bring what you can, we'll work with you. We'll take care of you if we have some backup options. He needs to understand, I don't know what type of actor he is. He doesn't decide what he gets to wear on my film. We decide what look we need you to be in. I honestly don't think he's a real actor.
I did share my reel with him. He saw it, so if he didn't think I was a real actor, I don't understand why he asked me to be part of his production. I'm sure I'm not the only actor that he knows.
They reached out to you. Are you saying they reached out to you, correct?
He had come up to me when we had originally met and told me that he was an actor. So you stand up. If this is something you want to do in your future and you want to make a career out of it, you take one for the team. And he wasn't willing to work with us.
I tried on everything they gave me. Everything. Everything they gave me.
And
I
nothing
tried
was
it on.
satisfactory to you.
It was just
He's
odd.
a diva.
No.
You go through the whole wardrobe on set and nothing is sufficient.
Well, they gave me 2 options. That's all they gave me. The first hour was him trying to get the set up
Yeah,
on its
he
feet.
doesn't know who he was dealing with.
I did ask him to come in early.
He doesn't know a star when he sees one.
I wouldn't consider myself the star of his production.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, how are you making all these demands then? I thought you were. All these demands you making.
To be honest, at this point, I just want to get paid for my time. And overall, just to make up for the entire process.
Did you complete your services?
I was definitely, I was there for 5 hours.
How did it end?
He told me to walk off set because I was being
I
a
did
diva.
not tell
He said,
him
if
to
you're not
walk off
happy
set.
What did
with
you
the
say?
way I run my set, go home.
How will Judge Mathis
Judge Mathis. I don't believe he would have you put on clothes that's going to hurt his film. He's more interested in making things perfect than you are. He has a film he has to sell and get his money back and profit. So no, I'm not going to grant you this judgment because you were unsatisfied with the wardrobe that the director requested you to wear. They have an idea of what they want. They have their own vision. Some of them even have men wear dresses in their movies, and they've become very famous actors. Robin Williams, he became most famous where he played a woman, and that's what brought him to my attention, and he became a superstar. So I'm saying that to say, you have to do what the director and the wardrobe department tells you to do. Otherwise, do what you did. Walk off, but don't expect to get paid, because you're not today. Your claim is dismissed.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I wish you the best of luck in your career.
The replacement that I bought in was so much better, and I'm very happy with the results, so thank God he wasn't in my film.
This court with Judge Mathis.
Samantha Burgess is suing John Matson in the amount of $1,516. Miss Burgess claims her boyfriend offered to pay for a birthday getaway with her girlfriends and says she was stuck with the bill after he canceled his credit card.
State your name.
Samantha Burgess, Your Honor.
Sir?
John Matson.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $1,516, alleging he owes this money for leaving you and your friends stranded?
That is correct,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Let's start with you.
He was my boyfriend. He is now my ex. We were together for 2 years.
2 years?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor. And so we agreed to go on a birthday trip, which he canceled last minute and said that I could take my girlfriends with me. So we went to San Diego, and after we got to the airport, we went to a Mexican restaurant for brunch, which when I tried to pay with the credit card that he gave me, the credit card was declined. So I tried to call him, and when I spoke to him, he completely lost it with me. And I got an email saying that the Airbnb at which we were going to stay was canceled as well. So I had to buy a new hotel, pay for our hotel, and cover all the costs, which was really difficult and inconvenient for me.
Okay. Let me hear from you, sir.
Yes, of course, I agreed that I'll pay for her trip to San Diego. I don't have a problem with that. Like, I'm a
happened?
man. It's her birthday. Well, I was in my meeting, very important meeting, couldn't come to the phone when she was blowing me up. Well, afterwards, when I was done, she calls me drunk. I could barely understand what she was saying, except she was only screaming and like...
You're saying your card was canceled. What happened to that card? That's what I want to hear about.
I canceled it.
Why?
Well, when you're in the meeting and all of a sudden you get out of nowhere a $600 bill, well, I had to cancel it because I don't know what it is.
What were you expecting her to spend? You gave her permission to use your card,
Correct,
obviously.
I did.
And what was the permit? What was it to entail?
Well, we didn't really have a limit, but I assumed it would be about maybe $200 max. It's a brunch. It's not a freaking dinner plus takeout.
And you backed out. You were supposed to go anyhow, right?
Say again?
You were supposed to go and you backed out.
From the trip, yes, I did.
You backed out.
Correct.
That's what I'm
I did
referring
back
to.
out, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And gave her your card.
I did, yeah.
And you thought she was going to spend the minimum.
The money isn't the problem.
Okay. What is?
The call was the problem that I got from her.
Okay.
Like she calls me drunk, cussing me out, bringing our private stuff in front of everybody in the restaurant and her girlfriends, insulting me over the phone while my headspace is in the...
How long has she been doing this?
Well...
How frequently?
Well, every other week.
Okay, you should have been done.
Yeah,
2 years.
of course.
All right. And this is the reason you all broke up, was over this?
Yeah.
All right, ma'am. Do you want to refute the fact that every other week you call drunk?
Your Honor, I am working on regulating myself and I'm working on my own problems, but he told me that it's okay, that we're a work in progress. So I feel like he just acted too impulsive. He overreacted. You know, when you're...
Yeah, but not when you do that in front of everyone.
I agree that
And
I
work in
said some
progress
things
is
that I
when
didn't
something
mean.
is getting
Let me
better.
see your receipts, ma'am. Let me see that, please, Andrew.
The receipts. This is for.
Yes, sir. You was just retaliating with anger
That's for the
because of the way she sounded. Like you said, that 600 didn't mean that much. You were just mad, and you were gonna retaliate because of the way she's talking. Call you drunk. You trying to do a meeting. You trying to get some more money, and she keep calling you over and over about spending your money. And so yeah, I'm gonna cut this off real quick. This ain't gonna happen no more. That's what you said to yourself. But you can't go back on that agreement that you made when you gave her that credit card. And as you said, you didn't specify a specific amount. So as such, she did nothing wrong, and she is entitled to the $1,516 that she spent that you had agreed to compensate her for. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,516.
Good luck with your next girlfriend.
$1,500 is worth to get rid of you.
You had your day in court. Step this way, please. Make sure you grab all of your belongings.
Judge Mathis.
David Wilkes is suing Trinity Peterson in the amount of $1,125. Mr. Wilkes claims his date offered to give him a massage and says the defendant was so rough his shoulder was injured and he had to miss work.
All right, sir, and you're suing the defendant $1,125, alleging she owes this money because she injured you during a deep tissue massage at her business.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Give me some background on this.
So late last year, I downloaded some dating apps. It was a recommendation from my friends. I work as a stonemason. I met with her, and we went to a bar, had a couple drinks, and really enjoyed each other's company. I thought we really hit it off, and I believe she felt the same way. So she decided to have me over at her home, which is also her place of business. And she said that if she was going to cook dinner for me, that I ought to bring the wine over. So I came over with the wine, we had dinner, and she asked me if I wanted a massage. I've never had a massage before, so I have absolutely no idea what to expect. Well, she asked me what kind of massage I wanted, and because I've never had a massage, I don't know what kind of massages there are out there. She said, did you want to get a Swedish massage, which is what the little ladies get?
Or did you want? Say it again, the little ladies get.
The little ladies get, yeah, that's what she said.
Go ahead, I don't know what that meant.
I didn't know what it meant either at the time. And she said, would you like to get a deep tissue massage, the one that the real men get?
I know what that means.
So I felt a little pressure to say that I wanted to get a deep tissue massage. So she proceeded and she started massaging my lower back, and it felt okay. And things started happening a little bit.
Coming up.
Things like what? I don't know what you meant by that. Have you moved over from the massage?
No, we're still on the massage table.
Pardon?
We're still on the massage table.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm cricking up my nose because I knew what a deep tissue massage was. I had it one time and I threw that lady off of me. I said, no, I got to go because it hurt. Go ahead. And I was sore. So you may have chosen the wrong one, but let's hear it out.
So she starts working her way up into my upper shoulder area. And that's when she starts using her elbow to dig deep into the shoulder. I let out a few noises. I say it hurts. And I didn't say stop at that point, but I probably should have.
Yes. You should have ran like I did. Go ahead.
Well, at that point, it was already too late. And that's when I realized she probably had a little too much to drink. Because she was in some kind of a game. She even told me to say uncle.
I was joking, Your Honor. I took it seriously.
Freaky.
Well,
that's her thing. Okay.
I didn't know it was a joke. The next day, I get up and there's a pain in my shoulder. I proceed to call the doctor. I proceed to email my workplace and let them know that I'm unable to attend work on that day.
All right, that's why you're suing her. All right, you had rough sex without the sex. All right, ma'am, let me hear from you. What do you say? He says you injured him, so he's suing you for a personal injury. Even though you weren't doing it in your professional capacity, you were doing it as part of the date you were on. You felt that that was a benefit of the date that he would appreciate.
Yes. To be fair, I usually don't incorporate sexual activity into any professional massage, but for this particular one, yes, we had a few drinks. We were having some fun.
You're dating the guy.
I did pressure checks, so it's his fault that he didn't speak up and say something. So, I mean, I thought it was a good night, but then he freaks out on me, starts cursing, starts getting up off the table, is yelling and is screaming at me. I'm actually scared in my own home at that point. And then
That's an exaggeration.
This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. Sir, you weren't hiring her in her professional capacity. You were on a date with her. And suppose, as is the case, some ladies and men, when they kiss, they like to bite the person's tongue. They like to bite the person's cheek. They like to bite the neck. That's part of their affection. That's the way they show their affection on that date. So what's going to happen? You get a little mark on your face, you get a little tongue stung a little bit. That's what this is tantamount to, sir.
Your Honor,
and that's
may I-
why I'm dismissing your claim. This was engaging in an activity pursuant to a date you were on. It was not in her professional capacity. Have a good day. Claim dismissed.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Do you two have any final words for each other?
We do.
Yeah, I regret swiping right on you.
Whether you're on the clock or off the clock, you've got to be held accountable for your actions.
Daniel Schwartz is suing Fred Winston in the amount of $2,500. Mr. Schwartz claims he hired Mr. Winston to plan an elaborate marriage proposal and says his girlfriend wasn't surprised after the defendant spilled the beans.
State your name.
So my name is Daniel Schwartz.
Sir, your name?
Fred Winston.
All right, and sir, you're suing the defendant for $2,500, alleging he owes you this money for ruining a surprise proposal?
Yes.
All right, get some background from you.
So I hired Fred over here, and I was going to propose to my girlfriend on top of Mount Aspen, and unfortunately it didn't go as planned. So I'm here today asking for $2,500 reimbursement.
You ain't got nothing to do with your wife or your woman not wanting to marry you. What you talking about? It didn't go as planned.
So the situation was I hired Fred, and he was supposed to set up this elaborate event on the top of Aspen Mountain, and we actually both live in Denver. So I currently reside in Denver along with Anna, who also resides with me. So I've been dating her for 2 years now. We've been living together for 1 year. So I hired Fred here because I wanted this elaborate proposal on top of Aspen. So the situation was my girlfriend showed up a little bit early at 11:15, and Mr. Fred over here actually told my girlfriend that there was a proposal going on, and he ruined the surprise.
How? Your girlfriend came early.
Yes, she came 15.
That's what ruined. Track was for him to leave at what time?
So he was supposed to leave at 11.
And what time was your girlfriend to arrive?
So we were going to arrive at 11:30.
Okay, but she came when?
She came a little bit early at 11:15.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Like Daniel had mentioned, I was supposed to leave at 11 a.m. Unfortunately, the gondola that was supposed to take us up was delayed a bit, so that set us back about 15 minutes. So a woman came up to me, saw the equipment, we started talking, we hit it off, and she had asked me...
What do you mean you hit it off?
No, just we had a good conversation.
No, why did she just say, yeah?
No. Well, first of all, I had no idea it was Daniel's girlfriend. This was just a woman who came up and asked about the business. So I had mentioned that, I do wedding proposals, and at that point she had started to get a little uncomfortable, and pretty soon after she had asked me if Daniel had hired me. And that was the first moment that I had realized that I was talking to Daniel's girlfriend. She had told me in private that she did not want to marry Daniel.
Yeah, see, whatever. You that talking about, he told me in private she didn't want to marry me. That woman just met you. That woman ain't told you that. We hit it off. We hit it off so well that when I told her I was here to perform to help perform a ceremony for a man who's proposing, she gonna tell you, a stranger, out of the blue, I really don't want to marry him. Let me confide in you. Who you think you're talking to?
Well, Your Honor,
yeah, sir, be quiet. That cockamamie story. What was the problem then once she arrived?
She was already there with Fred over here.
And he had told her?
Yeah, he ruined the surprise.
He had already told her.
So I said, Anna, I'm so sorry. This didn't really go the way I expected it to go. But maybe we can, go back to the car and we can discuss this a little bit. And instead, Anna was very, emotional.
Did you all ever get married? What happened with the propose and engage?
Unfortunately, that was a little bit too hard to come.
Oh, she didn't want to marry you, Doc. She had to come home. How long after that did she move out? It was so damaging.
It was about a month and a half.
All right. You had several opportunities to propose again, and you never did. Not once did you try again. And you say because you don't think she would say yes. That has nothing to do with him. All he did, he had his malfunction. And for that, unfortunately, sir, you're going to have to pay for the disruption of the ceremony. $2,500 for that. But don't try to blame this man for ruining your marriage, sir, or ruining your proposal. She didn't want to marry you. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,500.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $2,500.
I hope you're happy. She's not going to come back.
Fred, that was, you ruined my proposal.
Yeah. Good luck, pal.
Vance Peterson is suing Hannah Marsden in the amount of $1,100.99. Mr. Peterson claims his roommate's girlfriend is toxic and says she not only smashed his TV, she intentionally dropped the replacement.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
State your name.
I'm Vance Peterson.
Ma'am?
Hannah Marsden.
All right, and sir, you're suing for $1,100, Ms. Marsden, saying that she intentionally broke your television.
Yes, this is my best friend and roommate's girlfriend, Hannah Marsden, and I'm suing her because she intentionally smashed my TV and refuses to replace it.
Okay, do you all have a friendship?
No.
So she's the girlfriend of your best friend?
No, I hate her, honestly.
Why?
Well, she is just the worst. She came into my life.
Your life?
My life. She came into my life about 2 years ago. Me and my BFF, Kevin.
She went into his life. Doesn't you say she go with him?
I mean, the thing is, me and Kevin have been childhood friends since
Childs. That's the key word.
And till now, as adults, teenagers, children, doesn't matter. We've been friends for 20 plus years.
Well, it does matter. Let's stop you there. That may be the problem here.
Okay.
It's different when you're a child than when you are an adult.
That's
your
true.
relationships with your girlfriends when you are a child are different from your relationships when you are an adult. In fact, at certain ages, you hate girls, and he hates them too. I hate girls when you're 4.
Mm-hmm.
He started loving them at 3. But nonetheless.
My mother was my first love.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that,
it's really nice.
Isn't that nice? So that's all the point I want to make. You give me some background, and I want to hear particularly the experiences you've had with the plaintiff before we get to the issue at hand with the television.
I completely agree, Your Honor. Like, ever since I walked into Kevin's life, he's given me dirty looks, said like rude comments, snarky comments. I don't know if he just it seems like he just really hates women for some reason. Like, ever since I met him, he's just been completely against me, and he never even gave me a chance.
I mean, Your Honor, respectfully, I think I know what's best for Kevin. I've seen him with plenty of women. I've helped him through childhood, teenagehood, if that's a word, and adulthood. And I think I just know him so much better than her. I know that she's toxic. She's not right for him. And I'm just trying to protect him, He's my best friend.
Have you observed them falling out or heard of them falling out and arguing regularly?
I mean, it's pretty frequent, and maybe not every day, but it sure feels like it, and I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest.
Your Honor, if I might add,
Yes.
I feel like half the time, if we ever are arguing, it's because of Vance making digs at me, which Kevin doesn't like because he loves me.
Do you have a woman?
No.
That's why you're trying to interfere with it. You better go get you somebody yourself.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I just want Kevin.
That's what it is. You ain't trying to put him with one of your girlfriends, or they don't want to be. You don't think he want to be bothered with him?
I don't want to be bothered with them. I mean, look at what happened to Kevin.
He seems to be doing all right to me.
No.
Yeah.
Your Honor, he is a shell of a person. No disrespect. You don't know her the way I know her. I have to wake up every morning and I'm just like, what is going on? And Kevin doesn't want to do it. He tells me this.
Are you a weed head or something?
I mean, my hair
burnout? They call them burnout.
No, sir. No, sir.
Like when you smoke weed all day.
No, not all day.
You know, I know a dope fiend. You don't come across like an opiate head. You don't come across like crystal meth or a crackhead, but you do come across like a burnout. You can smoke your weed, but my God, not every hour, sir.
Is that like a court order or? Like...
Yes, a court order. Thank you. Yes. Tell me about this. Tell me about this television.
She was not there, and we were all talking about how we have a mutual childhood friend who is a female and who kind of had a thing for Kevin for forever. Kevin's not into her, you know, but we're friends with her. We decided to invite her to come up for the weekend and hang out. And I jokingly, I like to make jokes, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm inviting her to like break you guys up, like he's gonna cheat with her, because it was a joke, right? Kevin's not that kind of guy. Some girlfriend in the group told her. She comes over that night and just starts yelling at me, and she's like, why are you doing this? You're gonna break it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's a joke, right? She runs upstairs, takes my TV, and just throws it to the ground.
So you went upstairs looking for him.
Looking for him, and I saw his TV there, and I know all he does all day is play video games. So in a fit of just
watch porn, because he ain't got no woman. We already established that.
Exactly.
So if you broke that TV, Doc, you broke a whole lot more than just a tongue. As much satisfaction as he got from his TV, and you went up there and broke it?
Exactly.
For 1 minute, he playing video games. I mean, he hyped and having fun. Next minute, he just laid out.
Yeah.
Watching his TV. And you took that from him.
I didn't want those women to be watched by him, you know?
Your Honor, for the record, I don't use the TV. It's my phone, so this is irrelevant.
I think if you didn't use the TV, you wouldn't even care.
He says his phone he uses.
I just want to be, just for the record.
Why are you laughing so much, son? I caught you one time and you said you were watching a documentary.
That was vice versa.
That is true. So, tell me what happened. Do you agree you should pay for it? I mean, you ruined the man's life. Not just his television, you ruined his life.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I realized after I'd done it how wrong it was.
So why don't you think you should pay?
So I did, well, the part that he left out of the story is that I replaced the TV.
Oh, so why are we here, sir?
Exactly.
If she replaced it.
Oh, Your Honor, she replaced my broken TV with a broken TV.
What do you mean?
He's not telling you the full story.
She got me a new TV, and it's broken because she dropped it.
How did she get her hands on it? What do you mean she dropped it?
She dropped it. She said it was an accident. Her back gave out. Like, I think she dropped it on purpose.
I don't understand what you mean. How did she drop it? How did she have it?
I'm sorry. So she went and bought the new TV, which, for the record, I have the receipt. It was, she bought it. I'm not denying that.
Did she have it delivered?
She had it delivered, and she scheduled at a time that was a little bit inconvenient for both.
Not I. We agreed on a scheduled time.
I mean, I was very pressured by you, the way you pressure Kevin. I'm a little scared. You smashed my TV. I don't want to, mess with you. I don't know what you're capable of. So I went along with the time she selected, or pressured me to select, which was about 4:30. I hit terrible traffic, sir. It's LA. You know how it goes. Crazy pile up.
He was scared that he'd come home. That's what that was. Go ahead.
It might have been what it is. So she texts me and she's like, I got to go to work or something. I don't know what it was. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm in traffic. There's nothing I can do right now. It's not even stop and go. It's just stop. And she was like, I got to go. And I was like, you can't leave it out on the street. It's going to get stolen. So I pressured her to just carry it up the stairs, right? But I didn't tell her, like, you have to. Like, she could have asked someone for help. She carries up the stairs and just drops it. No one was there to see it happen. I think it might have been on purpose. Your Honor,
if I could, I have the text messages here.
Let me see them, please, Amir.
Yeah, and thank you. He says that he didn't force me to, but in the text messages you can see that he sort of gave me no option other than to carry it up myself. And I
Hey,
have.
what's your ETA? You said you'd be here 10 minutes ago. Got stuck in some bad traffic and running late. Map says 43 minutes. Vance, I have to leave before then. You said you'd be here for a while. Just bring it upstairs on your own. I really need a second person to carry this. It's too heavy for me alone. You can't just abandon my TV outside. You need to make this right. You're just trying to get out of this. And so tell me what did happen.
So I had no option at that point. I had to go to a work event at 6. I had to leave. So there was no one else around. I tried to ask the delivery
Why'd
guy.
you have to try and take it upstairs? Why couldn't you just set it in the doorway?
So in the house, he had, I think.
I have a picture.
Yeah.
Can you see a picture of the house, please, Amir? Or
There, if I would have set the TV there, the door would have opened. It would have also smashed the TV. So there was no other option. I couldn't leave it at the bottom of the stairs. And I had no one to help me carry it, so I had to carry it up. And during it, I had a back spasm.
This story
and
doesn't
dropped the
sound
TV.
right. Here's a person that hates your guts, and you hate his guts. You have a back problem. He tells you to carry a large television upstairs because he doesn't want it to be left vulnerable because he's running late. Knowing you have a back problem, you say, okay, I'll risk my back. Might even be out for years with a back problem. May need surgery, may need repeated surgery, but he's worth it because I love him. No, you hate him, yet you do that. I'm going to conclude this is contributory negligence again. Sir, for you to ask her to take that upstairs was unreasonable. And for you to do it was also unreasonable. So we're going to split this judgment. Tell you what, I'm going to grant you $600, sir. That's your judgment because you contributed to the destruction of that television by insisting that she take it upstairs, knowing that it risks damage or harm to her. Have a good day. That's my judgment.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay.
মিস হয়ে যায় আর যখন একজন মানুষের নামাজ মিস হয়ে যায় তখন তিনি কোনোভাবেই জীবনে শান্তি পাবেন না এবং তিনি সারাদিন মানুষের কাছে বলে বেড়াবেন আমার কাছে টাকার অনেক কমতি রয়েছে আমি কোনোভাবেই আমার দিন পার করতে পারছি না কেননা আমার পরিবারে অনেক খরচ আর তাই অবশ্যই নামাজে আমাদের সকলকে গুরুত্ব দেওয়া উচিত আপনি যখন নামাজ পড়বেন তখন অবশ্যই আপনার ভাগ্য পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাবে আর আপনি যদি দুপুরে গোসল করে এই আমলটি করতে পারেন তাহলে আপনার ভাগ্য পরিবর্তন হয়ে যাবে আপনি খুব দ্রুতই ধনী হয়ে যাবেন আল্লাহ তাআলার যে বান্দা এই আমলটি করবে এবং এই আমলের উপর বিশ্বাস রেখে মহান আল্লাহ তাআলার কাছে প্রার্থনা করবে অবশ্যই তার প্রার্থনা মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা শুনবেন আর অবশ্যই তার কাছে নিজে থেকেই টাকা চলে আসবে এবং ওনার যত সমস্যা রয়েছে সমস্ত সমস্যাই দূর হয়ে যাবে তাছাড়া ওনার যত এক্সট্রা চিন্তা রয়েছে সমস্ত চিন্তাই দূর হয়ে যাবে আপনি যখন দুপুরে গোসল করে এই আমলটি করবেন তখন অবশ্যই মহান আল্লাহ তাআলার দরবারে দুহাত তুলে আপনাকে প্রার্থনা করতে হবে এবং মহান আল্লাহ তাআলার দরবারে কান্নাকাটি করতে হবে তিনি যেন আপনার সমস্ত অপূর্ণতাকে পূর্ণ বা পরিপূর্ণ করে দেন তো চলুন এবার আমি আপনাদেরকে জানাই আপনারা কিভাবে এই আমলটি করবেন আর অবশ্যই আমলটি দুপুরে গোসল করে করবেন তো প্রথমে আপনাকে দরুদ শরীফ পাঠ করতে হবে কেননা মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিনের প্রিয় বান্দা হযরত মুহাম্মদ সাল্লাল্লাহু আলাইহি ওয়াসাল্লামের উপর দরুদ শরীফ পাঠ না করলে কখনোই আপনার দোয়া কবুল হবে না তাই আপনি 3 বার দরুদ শরীফ পাঠ করবেন এরপর আপনারা এই সূরাটি 11 বার পাঠ করে নেবেন কুল হুয়াল্লাহু আহাদ আল্লাহুস সামাদ লাম ইয়ালিদ ওয়ালাম ইউলাদ ওয়ালাম ইয়াকুল্লাহু কুফুয়ান আহাদ সূরাটি 11 বার পাঠ করা হয়ে গেলে শেষে আবারও 3 বা 5 বার দরুদ শরীফ পাঠ করবেন যেটা আপনারা প্রথমে পাঠ করেছিলেন তারপর আপনার 2 হাত মুখের সামনে রাখবেন এবং মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিনের দরবারে প্রার্থনা করবেন তিনি যেন আপনার জীবনের সমস্ত সমস্যা দূর করে দেন এবং আপনার জীবনের যে জিনিসগুলোর প্রয়োজন রয়েছে সেই জিনিসগুলো যেন দিয়ে দেন আপনি যদি চাওয়ার মতো করে চাইতে পারেন তাহলে মহান আল্লাহ তাআলা রাব্বুল আলামিন অবশ্যই আপনাকে তা দান করবেন তাহলে দেখবেন আপনার টাকায় এমন বরকত চলে আসবে আপনি অতি দ্রুতই ধনী হয়ে যাবেন এবং আপনার সমস্ত সমস্যা দূর হয়ে যাবে এবং এমন এমন উৎস থেকে ধন সম্পদ আসবে যা আপনি কোনোদিন ধারণাও করতে পারেননি তাই অবশ্যই আপনারা এই আমলটি করবেন এবং এই আমলের উপর বিশ্বাস রাখবেন মহান আল্লাহ তাআলার উপরে বিশ্বাস রাখবেন তবেই আপনার জীবনে যত সমস্যা রয়েছে সমস্ত সমস্যা দূর হয়ে যাবে এবং আপনি ভালো থাকতে শুরু করবেন। আমি আশা করছি এই ভিডিওটি আপনাদের সকলের কাছে ভালো লেগেছে। সম্পূর্ণ ভিডিওটি দেখার জন্য আপনাদের সকলকে অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। ভিডিওটি ভালো লাগলে অবশ্যই ভিডিওটিতে একটি লাইক দিবেন এবং আমাদের চ্যানেলটিকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে পাশে থাকা বেল আইকনটিকে প্রেস করে দিবেন। দেখা হবে পরবর্তী কোনো একটি ভিডিওতে। ততক্ষণ পর্যন্ত ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন। আল্লাহ হাফেজ সবাইকে।